there is a protein shake shop that I go to after my workouts. And when I first went there, I've been going there for months and months now, but when I first went there, the way it's right next to a Starbucks, so Starbucks to the left, and then the next suite over is the protein shake shop. Well, when I when you enter, there's a little table to the left here. There is just beyond that table, there's a couch that's there with a blackboard where every year they have people draw little like sayings, quotes, things like that. And so when I went there, there was a whole bunch of different sayings and quotes and everything like that was on the board. the so there's the table, and then there's a couch, and then to the right is the actual bar. It's an L-shaped bar. There was a guy behind the bar who you immediately know that he is somebody when it comes to that place. Maybe he's the owner or something like that. But you can see it by the way he's standing. And also on the couch, there was another guy. He was on the couch, but he was sitting upright, shoulders back, fresh haircut, really nice looking tattoos, earring, well dressed, and so on. And I thought that both of them were the owners. And so I go up and I say hi to the guy behind the bar. I say hi to the guy on the couch. And the guy on the couch gets up and goes and actually takes my order and makes my drink. The As he's making the drink, I start talking to him and I said, "So are you the owner?" And he laughed and he said, "No, no, I just work here. Actually, the other guy is the owner." And so I started talking to both of them, but I told him immediately, "Dude, I actually thought right away that you were either one of the owners or you were the owner because of how he presented himself." And he smiled, laughed, and thanked me for that. And he said, "Well, yeah, I like looking good. I like presenting myself in a certain light." And over the months and months and months, he's grown his influence. He became like a fitness influencer. He's grown his influence. He gets a lot of engagements on his posts. He has a lot of professional videos done, but he still is just, I shouldn't say just an employee, but he is an employee of that business. Since he's an employee of that business, yet has the look of an owner, he gets that quite a bit. And I've asked him over the last few months, how often do you get that? And he said pretty much every time somebody new comes in, they think that. And I told him, dude, it's because of how you carry yourself. It's because of most guys specifically, have the body language of a follower, have the body language of somebody who's not important. And that type of body language, so shoulders forward, head down, maybe neck kind of forward, things of that nature. We as humans look at body language far more than we do with what is being said, far more than logically thinking and knowing that, oh, this person makes a lot of money or has a lot of power. If the body language isn't there, we don't automatically think that. And so the other day I was at a coffee shop over here in Clovis, California, one of the very famous coffee shops that are over here. And I'm at the bar. I have my coffee, I have my laptop, I have all these things set out. And I had this big guy come in, and he looked at me and he said, he grabs a hat and he said, "Hey, do you have hats, black versions of this hat?" And I said, "Oh, I don't work here, man. I just pretend like I do." And and he laughed and he's like, "Oh, really? I actually thought you were the owner." My friend over there said, "I'm pretty sure that that's the owner of this coffee shop." And I laughed, and he basically said that you look like it, the way that the way you carry yourself. And this is something that's very, very, very powerful, especially if, I mean, no matter what you're doing, but especially for guys, when you are going for a job interview, when you are going for when you want to talk to a person that you've been wanting to talk to, your body language is everything. Your body language will give you away so fast. And the thing is, we don't learn, aside from public speaking class in college, or maybe a communications class, but even with those, we don't really truly ever learn in school and practice how to have confident, powerful body language. We don't we're not taught in the same way as we were taught math year after year after year after year, in English or whatever language year after year after year, in social studies year after year after year. We learn facts about Martin Luther King. We learn facts about these people in history. We learn all these facts, quote unquote, about things that really, I mean, they affect us in some way, but ultimately, do they really affect us on a day-to-day basis? Not totally, right? And so we are it actually is the practice of becoming confident in your body language, the practice of seeing that as just as important as working out, just as important as math, just as important as English, as language. The thing, the thing that about school, you're learning, quote unquote, all you can about language, whatever your local language is, right? But in reality, you could get away with, if you go to another country, you can get away with not understanding the language and how it works through simple body language. One of the YouTubers that I watch, a guy named Bald and Bankrupt, that's how he ended up learning Russian. Was he went to Russia and he just used body language to communicate, and eventually he started learning a couple words, and eventually after that he started learning sentences and how to string sentences together, and to now where he's fluent in Russian. And yes, it's important to understand grammar, but isn't it more important to put people at ease? To, if you are trying to start a business, to be able to come across as abundant and trustworthy. If you're in relationships, whether you're with your wife or your husband or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, to come across as someone that is valuable and fun to be around, and confident to be around, and trustworthy as well. That is extremely important. Yet we don't learn that. That is not something that is taken as seriously as it should be. The last 2 years, I've always tried to practice some sort of public speaking, body language, and so on. That's why when I'm speaking like this, there's not a lot of ums and ahs and things like that, and being okay with breaks in communication, being okay with the pauses. Those did not come easily. That was very difficult. Took a lot of time to learn how to do that and to be comfortable doing that. Same thing with sales. To sell for my business took a long time being comfortable closing deals. If it wasn't for body language, and if it wasn't for the confidence in my product or service, people would no way people would buy from me. Would you buy from somebody who, if you asked, are you confident that this is going to work for me? And the person's kind of like, yeah, no, I think, yeah, of course it'll work for you. Yeah. Um, I know it's worked for a lot of people, and I definitely think it'll work for you. And um, yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. No, you want somebody who is boom and congruent in both their body and their words. So how do you get started becoming better at body language? The first thing is getting out of the mindset that success with communication comes from here. Success from communication comes up here. It's not. It does. Every time you start thinking about what to say, what to do, you end up stepping on your own toes. And when you realize that the moment you start thinking about what to say, the moment you start thinking about how they're going to respond, how you're going to act, the way that you're going to carry your body, and so on, the moment you do that is the moment that things will start kind of going wrong. Because your brain is there as a secondary. You really have three brains, and I'll go into this in a different video, but you have your gut brain, your heart brain, and you have your head brain. The head brain is the more of analyzing the aftermath of things. Okay? Analyzing the aftermath. And so it's not very good of being in the moment. So how do you be in the moment? The second thing you can do is doing exercise, whether it's yoga, like exercises, things that get you into your body. It could be yoga. It could be going to a coffee shop and sitting in a very relaxed way rather than being forward and hunched over. Sitting relaxed back in your chair with your arms spread, your body open, and it will be uncomfortable. But feeling what it feels like, and it'll be completely uncomfortable. You won't like it, but the more that you get into your body with things like that, even feeling your body, feeling your toes, feeling your like moving your body around on your own in private, feeling what it feels like to put your toes in the carpet onto the ground. A lot of that, especially with men, oh my gosh, we are so stuck in our head, we don't even know what it feels like to be in our body. The more that you're able to do that, the better you're going to get with body language in general. So, once you've gone that route, once you've done that, you can then move on to things like revealing and releasing. If you type in revealing and releasing into YouTube, there's a lot of different ways to do that. Revealing the feelings that come up when you are communicating. The more that you're able to reveal those and release these feelings, whether they're good or bad, the more that you're going to get out of your head and not get put into these fight or flight triggers. These fight or flight triggers are what cause you to act in certain ways. I know when I would speak to certain people, I'd start getting nervous. I'd start shaking. I'd start like I could uncontrollably shake. And I even at one point in time, somebody I was talking to, I said, "Look, look how nervous I am. I'm like totally shaking." And as soon as I said that, it started subsiding because I was being honest with what was happening, and I was feeling what was actually happening in my body, and my body reacted positively. Yeah. But these are feelings that pop up, and when you acknowledge these feelings, you're able to then release those feelings, those things, that those triggers. Okay. Another one is breath work. I do breath work pretty much every day now. There is a breathing with Sandy is the guy's name. Breathing with Sandy on YouTube. He has this one. You have to push through it, but it's called the breath work journey. This one, this breath work journey, you need about 40 minutes. But if you go through it and you push through, it will be painful. First time I did breath work, my hands were cramping up. It was so painful. It hurt so bad. My whole body was shaking, but I released so many different emotions that were trapped subconsciously in my body that I started noticing over time these triggers that would happen no longer happened. Okay, so breathing with Sandy, he has one called Breathwork Journey. It's 40 minutes. I highly recommend that. And if you have 40 minutes, that's when you do that. Don't cut yourself short and do his other ones. Really do the 40 minutes and push through the pain. I promise you it's worth it. Promise you it's worth it. It's something that if you've never experienced a breath work kind of psychedelic experience, it's pretty amazing. So that, and then there's other methods for like getting into your body, but really it's the practice. And you could be honest. This is where you have to actually practice being honest with people when you're communicating. If you are at a coffee shop and you're practicing being social, rather than being weird about it and being like, because you want to push yourself to the edge when you're doing this type of stuff, rather than being weird about it and doing, because you're going to be doing things that you're not really used to, and you're going to feel it in your body, they're going to feel it in their body. The more that you just be honest about it and you say, hey, I'm actually practicing being more social, so if I'm a little awkward, please let me know, but I'm actually trying to get better at my body language, so thank you in advance. You can be honest like that, and as you're talking, you can even afterwards say, yeah, so what did you think? Was that good, whatever. The more that you're honest with what's actually happening, the more that you will come across as genuine, because what makes things creepy or weird when it comes to communication is you're saying one thing but your body's saying another thing, and people know that. People can feel it, right? Like if you're talking to someone and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, no, I'm super confident and blah blah blah, or you're saying something but your body is like shaking, and or you're hunched over and you're meek and mild. That's what causes the discord. It's like a musical note. When two notes don't go together in harmony, it it's like, ugh, that's gross, that sucks, ouch, it can even hurt, and people don't want to be around you. um so you can be honest with people and say, oh, i'm I'm practicing talking with people that I normally wouldn't talk to, and so if I'm shaking or whatever, just know that it's something I'm trying to really work on. You can be honest like that. The more honest you are, the more vulnerable you are, the better. Don't be like the thing is, you don't want to take it too far where you're then again being kind of needy to them, where it's like, I need you to like me because I'm trying to do this, and could you be no, just be like, hey, I'm Dean, nice to meet you. uh if I'm shaking, it's just because I'm actually working on my social skills and kind of being more confident. So I just really wanted to come and say hi and meet you. And yeah, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's nice. It was nice to meet you. I gotta go." Or they'll say, "Oh, that's cool. That's super awesome." There's been times where I've been honest like that, and the person we had like a 15-minute conversation. So, um, this allows you to then start getting into your body. Then you need to start actually researching and educating yourself on body language. Okay, there is there is female body language. There is male body language. Female body language, there are things that attract the opposite sex, or there's things that make you attractive as a person even to the same sex. There is male body language or masculine body language that does the same thing as well. And the more that you educate yourself on what that is, the more that you take the time, just like you spent literally decades learning all this almost, in my opinion, useless crap in school, you can spend an hour a day listening, an hour a day watching how to have better body language. Then go out and practice. And then you're going to make a fool out of yourself. I've had it happen many times. And then you go practice again and you practice again. And what I like to do is I actually like to do a thing, it's a manifesting thing called revision. You can then revise things in your head of in first person of how you think it should have gone. If you didn't like it, how should it have gone? And the next time you do it, you'll be surprised at how powerful it actually is, and you'll end up becoming that person that did it the way that you wanted to do it. So start learning how to be more confident in your body language. Make it as a priority. I spent 2 years, the last 2 years, fully 100% dedicated to body language. If you go and look 2 years ago at my videos compared to now, very different. Very different. Not in just the way that I look, which is a big part of it later. We'll talk about that at another time. But also in how my body language comes across. You're not going to please everyone. I always get, I'll get haters and comments talking about whatever. It's great for me because it looks like there's more comments on my video. Not everyone's going to like you. You'll get used to it. That's another part of it. And you'll end up having more and more opportunities, though. You'll end up seeing more and more fruits from this in ways that you never thought possible. So, all right, go out there, become better at body language. It's going to be one of the most powerful things for you, and I promise you, it's not as hard as you think. And when you get it, you will love it.